Hello, we're back. Something's going on with my audio, my AirPods. I made a mistake where do I have them in my pocket? No, I don't. I was listening to a podcast while I was sleeping with my earphones in, and of course, you know, because I was asleep, they fell out of my ears, and one of them is now missing somewhere under my bed. But that means that, like, one of them is dead, the case is dying, so the the thing that they keep connecting to my laptop and messing up my audio. But you know, we move. I've disconnected them, and hopefully they won't try and connect again. But anyway, welcome back. We are back working on Plant Game, and this maybe will be one of the last streams, or the last week where I do stream specifically on Plant Game anyway. I've got some other things that I need to work on, and other challenges which we might do on stream. Contemplating doing some more Godot on stream again, with, you know, the new Brackies video. Brackies, the god, my man, Ashbourne coming back. That's so exciting, honestly. I was so happy to see a new video from Brackies. I genuinely was like, got the notification and just went, whoa! It's brilliant. But there is more that I want to mess around with Godot anyway. Just to yeah, find out more about it, get more used to the software, what it can do, kind of playing around with it, because I did really enjoy my time with it when I was working, trying it out back when all of the Unity pricing shenanigans started in the first place. And it was very nice to kind of get a grasp on, you know, at least the basics. There's definitely a lot more that I would need to learn about it to actually make a commercial game in it. Would need to do a lot more looking into how things like Steam integration work with it, potential for, you know, porting to platforms. I know that there's some third-party companies that do porting for Godot games, but, you know, also the feasibility of doing it myself, especially now that, you know, the studio is kind of scaling up a little bit. There's some more funding coming in from here, there, and everywhere else. We're kind of reaching a point where I can start being a bit more ambitious with the types of stuff that I do. So yeah, we might do some Godot streams later in the week. I've got some other game ideas that I want to play around with, other prototypes I want to make, you know, outside of working on what will eventually end up being the boring stuff of just like fixing bugs, designing menus, etc., etc. for this game. Because I think, you know, if I'm being real, we're actually probably in a good position here where, as long as I don't continue to make just really stupid mistakes, we could actually have the foundations for this project done this week, which is exactly what I'm aiming for. And then it is literally just a case of filling it with content, putting in the, you know, necessary things to say that this game is done, it's shippable, and we can stick it up on Steam and be in a good place. But yeah, anyway, let's go on, shall we? So as the description for this video says, I don't really have a plan for what I want to do. I have things, I've got ideas that I would like to introduce on lots of aspects. They're in my notepad actually, which is down there on the table. I might, can you pass me my notepad from the table? Thanks. It's got all my ideas in it. Thank you very much. Amazing. So, we got the cat started talking as well. Oh no, my database is broken again. He's meowing very weirdly. So odd. Right, yeah, so there's a weird bug that I've got going on actually, which I think we should probably look at fixing with my database, which is whenever I restart the engine, or the editor, sorry, it completely rewrites all of the serializable GUIDs, which obviously is not ideal, because that means that, you know, when I go to load a game at runtime, theoretically, it's not going to load. Like, we're going to end up with 3 markets in the place, which is not what we want. And it means that I have to go through and reset all of the IDs for everything manually, which obviously then means that they're not going to, if I release a new build after the fact, it's not going to load anymore. So we really need to figure out what the deal is there. And I have a sneaking suspicion it's likely going to be, good, that's still on Visual Studio Code, it's likely going to be because of this custom editor that I've got. So let's go ahead and pop that open and just get straight into it. If I can find it, it's in the editor folder, tooling, Flower Game Data Editor. Whoop. It is pretty sad. It is pretty sad. I do need to find that AirPod because I've got some mix work that I'm doing at the moment as well, because I do freelance audio work and I like being able to reference the work that I've done, not just on these earphones, because they're like pretty decent, good, high quality open back earphones. I like to use my AirPods because they're, you know, more common for what people would be using to listen to music. So it's nice to be able to reference my mixes and masters on those. Right. Now, see, it could be this that we've got here, though I don't think it would be that, because this should only be happening if we hit the button. So like I can stick a debug.log in here, assigning new GUID to object or entry, and then maybe we log out. Whatever the thing is, yeah, it's going to be selected data type dot. Oh wait, no, that's just giving us a type. I actually want to use the selected data dot name. There we go. So we shouldn't get anything logging out here. Good, we don't. Shouldn't get anything when we're looking at stuff in here. This is all good. I assign, we get the log. Perfect. Okay, so that to me tells me that it's probably not the it's not the database, or not the editor that's causing the problem, which means it's more likely to be in the scriptable objects themselves. And that's kind of finicky actually, because I don't know why it would be resetting the value here, and this is also like, it makes me worry for tile lands, because obviously I'm using the same kind of system in tile lands for having this, you know, using the serializable GUID to give us some unique data point, or unique ID rather. And yeah, if it's going to end up resetting it when I reboot the editor, you know, the saved data is going to be broken, and suddenly, you know, at runtime, maybe we end up with players that can't actually play the game, which we definitely don't want. So let me real quick open up my Unity projects, Tile Game Mobile, that's the project name, and then I want to look at, let me pull this up here so you guys can see what I'm doing. I want to be looking at the thing that is responsible for being saved, which I can find out from my save system, I believe, because this does the binding. Init bindings. Yeah, it might be the grid manager. It's not the grid manager, it's the tiles, abstract buildings, grid system, buildings, abstract building. So this has a, oh no, the building data has a serializable GUID. Here we go, here we go. Yeah, we are just saying it to a new rather than a get private set. And that's then fine, because I think we also have the building database, which is basically, it's the exact same thing. We've got a serializable GUID mapped to some building data SO. We go over all of the things in the dictionary. Yeah. Put them all in the dictionary with their ID and the building data. So here's a question actually. In my database, am I doing something weird there? I don't think I am, because then it would always be broken. Oh, excuse me. So let's just go ahead and say this equals new. Like that. I think that's what we said it's doing, didn't we? Whoops. Building data SO. Yeah, just saying it to a new GUID by default. Be looking for your XP pen. Well, pen for the long time now because you need it for game art and art in general. Seems the earth has swallowed it whole, dude. I feel that. That's literally me with guitar picks. Like, I have so many guitar picks for playing guitar. They just vanish. This is like, why? Never find them again after the fact. It's terrible. Especially when you need them. It's like when you don't need it, it'll appear again and you'll be like, ah, I'll remember where that is. And then suddenly you go back and it's gone. It's absolutely tragic. Right. So that's set. Let's do the purchase data. Oh, wait, we don't need to do the purchase data actually, do we? Because this is not going to be unique. They don't need to be, we don't need to save and load the purchase data. So we need to do it for the world objects. Pop this open. That is a type of database item. We've just updated that. I think it's the same for the flower data, isn't it? Flower data, flower, 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 flower. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So that should theoretically fix everything. We're going to test this. We're going to assign a new GUID to everything. And something that I've also done, just so everyone knows, is I've removed the section in the game manager that saves on application quit. I've just deleted the method entirely for on application quit, so it will only save the game if I hit the save button now. Because I don't want to have to, you know, go and delete my save file every time I want to test the game from scratch. I want to be able to just run it and have things be going as they are. So now that everything's got a new thing, hit play, should see that it's behaving as normal. Good stuff. We've still got our grid-based moving working fantastically. We can't drag things off the map anymore. This is what we set up in last stream. I did also fix the bug for things not being able to place on top of each other. I discovered that it was an issue with my raycast. In that if I was passing in the arguments, so layer masks in Unity are represented as integers. And the order of parameters, or the order of arguments for the raycast method wants the max distance before the layer mask. So if you don't specify max distance, when you get your layer mask, it turns it into an int, and it passes that through as the max distance value. So you have to specify both. And it took me ages to try and figure out that that was going on. But I stumbled across a really handy old Unity forums post, which yeah, gave me that solution, and now we have this perfectly working system where we can stack stuff, move stuff around the grid, and everything is working exactly as we expect it to. Very nice indeed. Cool, so that's all good. Let's quit Unity and boot the editor back up again, because we obviously want to test that that change has actually made a difference. I'm genuinely not certain if it will have or not. If it hasn't, it's probably one that I'll need to just look into later, because I don't want to spend ages on this stream. Dude, Leon, don't judge my desktop, honestly. I'm pretending it doesn't exist. There's so much guff on there. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. Oh dear. Right, let's see if this has actually fixed our issue. Cool, yeah. That seems to be fine. Brills. I think I should be able to still save this and then load again, and we should have everything in the same place. I wonder if it will change the order of the stack. It did not, but it did kind of break the stacking a little bit, as well as target positions. We'll need to make sure we fix that, and I need to fix that bug as well, where it's like if you somehow manage to let go with your mouse over the top of the bucket, it registers it as a click, and so we get water drops spawning out, which obviously is not ideal, and we need to fix this rigid body requirement for throwing things out as well. Odds are we use we upgrade our grid system to look for empty spaces and then throw things out using tweening. I think that's probably going to be the most appropriate. Cool. All right. Now that we've got that all sorted, let me delete my save data again because I don't want to use this old save data that I just made. Just going to sort this out real quick. And I tell you what, actually, real quick, let's go and update all of the, you know, the, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? My brain has just gone fully blank. Move, update, yes, the player data, that's it, for the information about the company. Player. So we are Shiba Dog Studios. Product name, I'm not going to reveal yet. And then, yeah, we'll keep the version as 0.1.20 for the time being. That is all good. What font am I rocking? Let's find out. I honestly have no idea. And honestly, I couldn't remember how to tell you. Oh, well, no, I couldn't remember where I would find it. Theme, color theme, nope. Yep, couldn't tell you. Oh, I really need to make use of profiles as well. See, this is the issue. I'm not because, you know, being primarily a Unity developer, I've been using Visual Studio for most of everything forever. So I really need to set up a profile, like a Unity profile and then a web dev profile, because at the moment I've got literally all of my packages enabled. And I really don't need them for when I'm developing Unity. I just need the Unity, the C# stuff. Is that a debugger for Unity? No, it's the debugger for Java. Like, I don't need that. I don't need that for developing Unity. So that's going to be something that I can do later. Fun. Let's have a look in the settings and see. It doesn't look like it says in there. Let's Google it, shall we? Whoops. How to check font in VS Code. Settings, bottom left, font family editor. Bottom left. That's dev containers or remote windows. My cat's back, hold on. Oh, thank you. I accidentally opened a new tab in my wrong browser window. It's probably default, so I think it's just probably just Menlo, yeah. I don't think I've changed it. Also, I've been rewatching Avatar, The Last Airbender, so I was looking to see if Paisho was a real game, because I want to play it. I want to play it. I got a Go board for Christmas, and it's kind of similar, I guess. Seems like it would be kind of similar. Anyway, right, let's actually get on with stuff, shall we? So, in my grid manager, I think this is probably what we do first. So yeah, in my notebook that I've got here, I've got like a bunch of plans for things I want to include in the game. There's things here like beehive, seed drones, shelves, rain clouds, hydroponic tanks, all sorts of gubbins that I want to give players. And I think these should be unlockable as well. So like you have to, you know, earn X amount of money to unlock a piggy bank or something like that. And there's still a question of, you know, do I have money be a physical object in the world that you can trade, or what? Yeah, I'm not really sure yet. But we'll figure it out. I'm also not sure how that would work. I don't know. We'll get there. Okay, so first things first, for something like the shelf to work, there's a question of if I want to use, if I want to use the grid system in 3D space for placing things on top of other things, or for like possibly placing stuff on walls, because there's a, you know, it may well be the case that actually we want to go in here and say the player gets a whole room with, like, maybe we give, maybe we do something like that. So something like a plane. This is going to be a wall. I'm going to give it the material. It's going to be 5 units tall, so 0.5 on Z. Again, material, we want it to be our ground paint material. Whoops, wrong axis. Wrong way. There we go, something like that. And then our camera, we would need to zoom our camera out and move it up a little bit as well. Main camera, probably the size of like 10. No, not 10. 7.5. Yeah. And then I believe we would move this up to something like that, 1.75. And we would have walls all the way around. And the reason that we use planes as well, just in case anybody doesn't know, is because if we use a plane, we can see through the back of it. It's the same with quads. You know, they've just got one. They've only got one face, or one set of normals, so you don't have normals on the back that go in the other direction. Although, by the looks of things, just putting that in has massively tanked my potential frame rate. Hello, hello, welcome back. Oops, wrong one, didn't mean to hide that. Yeah, look at that frame rate change. If I take my wall and hide it, we get a significant boost in frame rate, and that's definitely going to be because of the shader. I wonder if I hide my bucket, basic water source. It made a bit of difference. Not too much though. It seems mainly just to be the plane, or the wall even, that has a real effect. Like that easily done us like 30 frames. Or maybe not, maybe I'm tweaking. It just needs to stabilize or something, but it looks like, it feels like it's tanking the frame rate. I want to do an experiment. Gonna rotate these around the center. Oh no, not the center, sorry, the pivot. There we go. No, I do want to rotate them around the center. There we go. There we go. So theoretically we should be looking at like 50 frames a second. It did definitely drop, didn't it? It did definitely drop. That seems to be running pretty stably though, at 80, so it hasn't dropped drastically. And it looks like it might pull back up again. That's definitely, I'll have to run some profiling to see what's going on. Probably also need to do some tweaking on my shaders to get the wall looking right, because that paint texture that's not it. That is not it. But I do like the idea of having walls. That'd be quite nice. No gizmos. Looks like it's still saying the same. Almost gets lower if I'm zoomed in closer, I imagine, because we're rendering this texture in higher resolution. But if I'm zoomed far out, yeah. Wondering if you should create a prefab of, for example, your player object, since there will only ever be one. Is there any benefit or setback to doing so? So making a prefab is always a good shout, because even if you're not going to instance one at runtime, you know, maybe you're going to have multiple scenes where you need to put your player object in. So if you've got a prefab of it and you make a change to your player in one scene, which you need to carry over, like maybe you change the jump height, for example. If you're making a platformer that's a level-based platformer like, you know, classic Mario, you're going to have an instance of Mario in every level. It makes sense to save Mario as a prefab, so that even though you're not going to instance it at runtime, if you make any changes to the parameters on him in one scene, you can hit apply on the overrides and it will carry over to your other scenes as well. That's usually the reason you would. Yeah, generally speaking, any case where you're going to have an instance of the same object in multiple different scenes, it's good practice to have it as a prefab, so that you can keep the settings consistent, or the values for it consistent across scenes. No problem. I'm going to delete these walls real quick. Next.js course went on sale for $9.99. Nice. I might have to check that out. Although, to be fair, I'm probably more likely to just lean heavy into that that one that I sent the link for a few days ago, the Academy. That's like it's a monthly subscription thing, but there's just so many courses on there. It's like, yeah, it feels fantastic to be on something like that. Right, okay, I need to actually figure out what we're doing. What we're doing in this stream. Messing with grid stuff. So yeah, I wanted to decide, are we going to have... we're going to use tweening to lerp stuff over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and pop open my package manager, and I'm going to dock that so it's not quite as big, because this is ridiculous. Dock that down here, and I'm going to go ahead into my assets and we're going to install DoTween so that we can do some nice easy tweening. Which actually, question for anybody who's watching that uses Godot or knows about Godot, what's the tweening library in Godot like? Because I haven't fiddled with it too much. If there even is one built in. I'm pretty sure there is off the top of my head. But how is it? Because I'm looking to do some more playing around with Godot in the coming days. I'm also on the fence, right? Again, anyone else in the chat who uses Godot, if you've got experience with Godot, what's your opinions on using Godot 3 versus Godot 4? Because I know Godot 3 is in LTS, and usually I would prefer to use an LTS version of a software, but there's so much improved in Godot 4 versus Godot 3, and I know that Godot 4 is deemed as stable, it's just not the LTS version. So if anybody's got any thoughts on that, let me know, because I'd be very interested to get some opinions. Right, update, DoTween. Godot 4, don't touch 3. Nice, thank you. Oh, and it's Yayap's back. You are my savior, so I'm going to take your word as read. Sweet. Yeah, I'll probably do some playing around with Godot 4 later in the week, in that case, on stream. I figure what I probably want to do is just build like solitaire or chess or something. Something that's, you know, a game that's already designed, just so I can get used to actually building like a fully fleshed out product with Godot, see how I vibe with it, get to play with some of the integrations like a Steam API if I can find one. learning about like multiple viewports and all the rest of it. Made useful links channel on Discord. Brilliant. Yeah, I'll stick the link in there. No problem. Right, let's do all this. I don't think I need to faff around. We're gonna have everything in there. We'll take a performant outline though, that's pretty nice. No dear, I don't think I can because it's an external asset. There are less limitations in 4 than in 3, but you're also using it with C#, so you're biased because on 3 C# sucked. Fair, yeah. I'm actually, you know, I'm undecided as to whether I would use exclusively C# or if I would use exclusively GD script, or maybe some combo of the two if I was to work in Godot. I did quite like GD script. I still am a bit on the fence about it because I have a bit of a personal disdain for languages that don't use like curly braces for their scoping and just use indentation, which is ironic because I use things like YAML and Python a fair amount, being a platform engineer / DevOps engineer by trade, but I don't like either of them very much because of the lack of indentations. Lua having them be optional, I would just opt to use them. It's like, why would I not? You know? Yeah, enough said. Right. So, what I want to do to build out this grid system, I'm not going to let you out, buddy. You just came back in like 10 minutes ago. Just chill for a little bit. Yeah? Yeah, good. Right, so we want a way of keeping track of what's in a position on the grid already, which means we need some data structure that's going to hold those. In my head, I'm thinking we use a dictionary, because then I can map I can have the key be a coordinate, i.e. a vector3 int, and I can have the value be some object, which, you know, realistically is going to be a world object. Or possibly some different type of script component that we use, that we create, sorry, for a grid object. And then based on that, we can have some interfaces for, you know, checking the grid to see if there's something at the position by just trying to do a get on the dictionary at that position with the key, or with the position that we want to check as the key that we're passing in as the argument. Not sure what I've done in Discord, by the way, but it no longer shows that I'm streaming. I don't know. Oh, it might just be because you created a new one, because the link's gone through on my Discord server, and it went through on the old Discord server as well, the old Nerd House Discord server. But I think because you just made the channel today for the new streams, it'll only go through. My name doesn't go purple and say streaming. Oh, it's because I disable streamer mode on Discord, because I don't like it when it shrinks people's names if I get notifications and I want to see who sent me the message. Because in Discord, when you're streaming, it all, in case you put Discord on your screen, it shrinks it to just the first letter of the username and then ... So I usually turn it off with Streamlabs, does it automatically. Right, let's do this, shall we? We are going to have a private dictionary of vector3 int to, we'll use game object for the time being, but we are going to replace this. And this is going to be our grid object map. We'll have this equal to a new, because we don't care about the length of it. We probably could have this be read-only, because we're never going to create a new instance of it. And then it's nice and simple. When we create an object of position, we want to try and get the valid position. If that position is valid, we, yeah, get the created object. And then we'll say grid object map dot add, and we're going to add at the position this grid position. It's going to be grid position. We add our created object. Is this where I'm going to find out that I'm not? Yeah, you need to be a vector3 int. Wait. Okay, so here's a question. I've got my try get valid grid position. This should probably return the position of the tile rather than the center of the tile. And then I can do the conversion over here. I think that probably makes more sense. So let's have this return a vector3 int. Oh no, because I do need to check that it's Oh, no I don't. No I don't. No I don't. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So let's get rid of all this. Let's just have this be position tile center. And then we can say all of this. So that's the same as before. Now that needs to be .game object. And here we want to say grid dot cell center world of that grid position. And I'll actually probably rename that to tile position, or yeah, tile position. When I start using Command D, I'm going to be pleased. What do you mean? Oh my god, what? How do... Wait a minute. What does Command D do? Have I... Press it a few times. Oh, wait, so do I just have to spam that if I want to edit all of the symbols? Or can I, like, do something like Command Shift D? Oh, no, I definitely can't do that. That's the debugger. I mean, that's pretty damn handy. Although, I imagine if I had, like, loads of instances, like this position tile center, that's a lot of times that I've got to press to make sure I'm hitting all of them instead of just hitting FN, function 2 even. Right, okay, I've got my thing. What is the deal here? Line 42. Yes, of course. So my grid position, I would like to be a vector3 int, I guess. Although surely I can just pass it. Yeah, no, surely I can just pass it. A vector3 int is a vector3. Gonna out grid position as vector3. No, I can't do that. Yeah. Okay, fine. Let's go int grid position. Oh, of course, I can simplify this. Stop. Boom. I don't think that should have caused us any issues. The only slight mishap that we're going to have is this is now going to be the corner of the grid, not the or the corner of the tile, not the tile itself. So we probably also want to we want to figure something out there. We're going to have to refactor this so it's a bit better. Background music quite literally puts you into a chill out trance. Good. That's the state we want to be in when we're coding, because coding is stressful. Things go wrong, and I like to relax. I don't want to be stressing. Got some ice in that. Let's just check that I haven't broken anything. Yeah, okay, so yeah, here we can see on startup things are going, oh, not even on startup, just generally things are ending up in the corners. Okay, so we need to sort this. I mean, I guess we just invert this. Let's have this, let's go back to what we had before. Good. And then here we're going to say grid dot world to cell, grid position. This is going to be dot game object. Very nice. That's going to be that. Cool. So now I think we probably use grabbable object as our thing, our basis for this grid object, because then we can just have a bool on it for movable, I guess. Although I don't really like that, you know, maybe I want to have a grid object that we can't move. Oh, no, I don't want that. I would always want the grid object to be movable. Yeah, I always want the grid object to be movable, because we want the player to have full autonomy. So we are going to use the grabbable object as the thing that we... the thing that we use here. Cool. So then in grabbable object, we've got a reference to a grid position. God, I can't wait until I get a new desk. That's going to be so good. When we drop, we're going to want to query the grid to see if there's something there. If there is, we want to check if that thing is stackable, which will create the stackable interface in just a moment. But if there isn't something stackable there, we want to check around for an adjacent space which is free. Or actually, yeah, there's a question. What do we think we should do here? Should we make it so that if you drop something in a place where it's it can't be placed, do we return it to where it came from, or do we put it into an adjacent tile? I think I can start a poll for that. Which I'm going to do. I'm going to put a poll in here. Do we put tiles... oh yeah. What do can't type, do we do when the player tries to drop on an invalid tile? Send it back to where it came from. Put it on an adjacent space. Boom. And now I can get some feedback. Oh dear. Right. Send it back to where it came is the current vote we've got. Option C, colour the ground red below it. I mean, that's probably something that we want to do anyway, but also that's surprisingly difficult. I could possibly use shapes, but shapes has some issues on M1 Max, which cause it not to work at runtime. I think it's something that Freya Homer, the person who made shapes, is looking into, but yeah, I don't know what the state of play on that bug is. Is it easier to color the object red? Nope. I mean, it's easy enough, but you've got to be careful with your materials, because changing material colors at runtime is you can end up creating loads of duplicates of materials that don't get cleaned up properly, and then you end up with memory leaks, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, we want to change the way that we're working with this. So rather than using grid position, looking at the vote, we've currently got majority votes for sending it back to where it came. I'm going to let it run for a bit. First things first, something we definitely need is get a method for getting adjacent tiles, or getting positions adjacent to tiles. So let's have a public list of I guess vector 3s, which can be the centers of the tiles. That's going to be get tiles adjacent to position. Pass in a vector 3 position. We're going to have a list of vector 3 adjacent positions. Have that equal new, and then we'll return that list at the end. So the way that we're going to populate this is we're going to first of all check if our position is valid. And that's going to give us out the center of the position. So we know that the thing is on the grid. We can then do a for, and I think we'll include diagonals. For int x is equal to -1, x is less than 1, less than or equal to 1, x plus plus. Same thing with y. For int y equals -1, y is less than or equal to 1, y plus plus. If oh yeah, we'll create a vector. I suppose we want to do this in 3D space, don't we? So we also want to do z. Okay, for int z is equal to -1. Z is greater than, or sorry, less than, equal to 1, Z plus plus. Do I want to check verticals? No, I don't want to check verticals, because that's going to give us some weird issues. I only want to check on the same level that we're trying to place on. So we'll create a new vector 3. Vector 3 check position equals new x y. And we want to make sure that we're 0 on the Y because we actually want to be looking on X and Z. I'm pretty sure that I set the swizzle on the grid to be, yeah, X, Y, Z. Good. So if check position is equal to vector 3.0, we continue, because that means that we would be checking the same position that we've passed in. Otherwise, we're going to say if try get valid grid position at position plus check position. Maybe we rename this check offset. Check position offset. And we'll just out discard because we don't actually care for it. Then we'll do adjacent positions dot add position plus check position offset. Cool. Oh, guys, come on. Now that we've got a way of checking adjacents, I was going to go straight on to setting up the our system for what we do with things when we drop them, but we've got a 50-50. That's not helpful. Someone tie break, please. In my head, my thought is I want to default to sending it back to where it came from, because that's, I think you know, in the event, if we were going to go with adjacent things anyway, we'd probably want to say if there's no adjacent thing, then we send it back to where it came from. So let's go ahead and add support for sending it back to where it came from, and we can add adjacent space if we end up with a tiebreaker vote in the next, say, like 15 minutes. So we want to have this drag position. I am going to update the drag position to this. Drag position, like so. Good, that's all good. So drag position equals the grid tile position, drag offset is that, drag offset.y plus equals hit.y, drag position equals drag, so we can actually just say plus equals drag offset, that's fine. And then when we stop dragging, we want to do our checks in here. So we are going to, I think before we do any ray casting, oh yeah, we're kind of doing this to do, fantastic. So before we do any ray casting, let's go ahead and, oh, you know what? We don't even need to do any ray casting anymore. We can get rid of all of this because we don't care about it. We want to say if grid manager dot instance dot try get valid grid position, and this is going to be at our drag position, and I think it's actually going to be a new vector. Yeah, we can just do new drag position dot x. I mean, it's not exactly what I would like to do, because obviously, you know, when we start working with different axes, we you know, no, it's probably going to work. Yeah, no, it will work. Drag position. So my thing that I was thinking there, if I just pass in drag position, if the offset for the drag position is more than 1, yeah, if the Y value for the drag position is more than 1, it's going to pick a position on the grid that's higher up. And obviously we don't want to just have stuff randomly floating, which is what's going to end up happening. So actually, yeah, let me demonstrate this. So here, we're going to go ahead and say, new position then we can say here grid position equals new position. Like so. This isn't actually what we want to do. We'll come back, but just to, yeah, show what I'm talking about. If I go here and drag this over top and then let go, that's put that on square one. Same here, if I drop that now, that's now in tile position like 0, 0, 2 or whatever it would be. And it's going to keep, we're going to keep being able to do that until we hit the grid height. Theoretically anyway. Let's test that theory, shall we? It looks to me like they keep going. Ah, there we go. Okay, so we've hit the grid height. So now, yeah, if I try to put that on top, it's going to send it back to where it came from because this is, it's too high up. It's not a valid position. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Okay, that's cool. So it's kind of working. Something that we don't want to do though is like we don't want to just check to see if it's a valid position. We want to check to see if the position is occupied, because we know the position's valid. Otherwise our drag position wouldn't be able to go there. I'm having to think in my head about how I want to approach this. It's my favorite song. This one from Minecraft on a completely separate note. Is it Subwoofer Lullaby? This one. I think it is. But it's just really nice, especially when it's played on like a hand pan or something. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. What we would like to do is check if the, yeah, we probably want to have a separate cache for like a target grid position. Yeah, go on then. Private vector 3 target grid position, because then rather than setting our drag position directly, set our target grid position here, then drag position is going to equal target grid position plus yeah, fantastic. So, with that, we then want to check, we want like an is occupied. So let's go back to our grid manager. Let's have a public bool is space occupied, or is position occupied, which takes in a vector 3 position. And we will say vector 3 int grid position equals grid dot cell or world to cell position, and then return try grid object map dot try get value position. Sorry, grid position. So for the time being, let's just say, if the position is not occupied, we'll update. Otherwise, we're not doing anything. Position is up. Blah, blah. If it's not occupied, we can update our grid position. Sweet. So what we kind of have done here is push the problem of how we do vertical grid positions a little bit down the road. Okay. Well, that's interesting. That is interesting. So it has got that space being occupied. It's also got our bucket origin spaces being occupied, but it didn't have a problem with me putting the bucket there in the first instance. Huh? Can we get a replay on that? So if I put the bucket here, it lets me drop it, fine. I can't move it back because that space is occupied. I also can't move stuff back to where the bucket is. Can I put stuff on this? Nope, because that space is occupied. Interesting, interesting. I wonder if that's just like a on startup issue, because that would be very, very curious. No, we're fine down there. That's so weird. It's only like when I move it off, it won't go back. That's so interesting. Am I passing the wrong thing through? No, I'm passing the target grid position. I am passing the wrong thing through. There we go. Boom, fixed. Lovely stuff. Cool. Now we just need them to get them to update their spaces. And there's a question of how we do that. I guess we probably want to fire out a event for the previous position. And then have the grid manager listen for it. Yeah, I think that's probably good. I think that's probably good. We can say, let's have some public static Unity event. I don't want it to be that. I want it to be a public static delegate action. No, public static. Here we go, right. Let's make a public delegate void on Handle object position changed. And that's going to take a grabbable object, or stop, grab object, grabbable object, grab object. A vector 3, sorry, old position. And a vector 3 new position. And then we can have a public static event handle grabbable object position changed on position changed. Amazing. And then down here we'll say our var old position equals grid position. Update the grid position to the target position, and then we can say on position change dot invoke this old position grid position. Fantastic. Then over in our grid manager, let's do public void start, inside of which we're going to say grabbable object dot on position change plus equals update grid positions, or update grid map, I guess. Generate that method. We're going to say grid map dot remove old position, and we need to make sure that we cast this, so grid dot world to cell old position, and then grid object map dot add grid dot world to cell new position grabbable object. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. And let's just give ourselves some debug logs on that. We'll say something along those lines, updating position of grabbable object dot name from old position to new position. Make sure we spell this right. Position. Save. Cool. All right, so I've got my bucket. This is at, I mean, something. I'm going to move this one over here. Nice, nice. Updating position of basic pot clone from where it was to where it now is. I should be able to put this in the middle. Good. Should not be able to put it there. Good. Shouldn't be able to put this here. Should be able to put it in the corner. Fantastic, look at that. We've got a fully functioning system. Nice. So now we need to figure out what we're doing with our water. And we'll go ahead and figure that out in a second. We'll also need to figure out how to do some overrides for certain things, because obviously we want the water to go straight down. So it's possible that we want to do a like maybe some generic call, some generic check when we drop a grabbable object to see if there's something that we should do. It could be that we have something like an on-drop processor, and we can have a list of those, because then we can prioritize certain effects as well. But I'm genuinely not sure what the approach for that's going to be, or what approach I would like to take on that. Either way, now that we've got that sorted, we can actually sort out our bucket to drop things properly. Take a quick sip. Bucket, here we go. So when we make the water, rather than getting the droplet, getting the rigid body for the droplet and adding a force, we want to just do a little curve and tween from the top of the bucket to an adjacent grid position. Should be straightforward enough to achieve. So I'm going to get rid of all of this like that, and then we're going to say do tween and now I have to figure out how to use do tween. So documentation time, do tween, documentation. Lovely. Transform.doMove. Nice. I mean, that's pretty nice. Because I'm pretty sure you can add callbacks to the completion of tweens as well, and order things too. Beautiful. Alright. Prefixes are important to use most of the telesense. Try to remember these. The do prefix is for all tween shortcuts. Nice. Nice. Set prefix for all settings that can be chained to a tween except for from, since it's applied as a setting but it's not really a setting. Okay. Prefix for all callbacks that can be chained is on. Oh cool, so you can do stuff on start, on complete. Handy. Okay, I'm going to leave it just initializing itself for the time being. Most flexible way of tweening, and allows you to tween almost any value, either public or private, static or dynamic. Very nice. In the generic way, using a static do tween dot to. Okay, so has a from version. Just chain a from to a tweener to make it behave as a from tween instead of a to tween. I have no idea what that means. I don't think we need to know it right now because we just want to tween two. So if we want to do this the generic way, i.e. the most flexible way, we probably want to do tween.to, create ourselves a lambda for the position, where we want it to end up. And that, okay, yeah, cool. What I want to know is if there's some nice, like, can we use spherical paths? Oh, I can make it follow a path. I don't know if I want to do that. I think something like that is going to make a lot of sense, though. Do jump. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Say less. Right, okay, I want to do droplet dot transform dot do move. Sorry, do jump. Do I remember what parameters need to go into this off the top of my head? Nope. We want the end value, the jump power, the number of jumps, duration, and the snapping. So the end value is going to be grid manager dot instance dot get tiles adjacent to position transform dot position, just the first one that we get. Jump power, let's give it like, I don't know, 0.25. Number of jumps 1, duration 0.25 again. Snapping we're going to leave as false. Interesting, interesting. Oh, that's interesting that it sets the grid position of the water to the current tile position. Oh, I'm gonna have to like fully overhaul the system, aren't I? Because we probably want to do all of our checks on the grid rather than on the objects themselves. Or it's possible that we end up with some really weird, or we're gonna have things just all over the place trying to check stuff with each other. There's also a question of like, should I even be using this grid system so deep? Hold on. Cat came back again. Oh god. Slid too far. Yeah, what do we do here? What do we do here? We've always got the on complete callback. Let's see how we make use of this. I'm getting sleepy. Getting sleepy. I think I probably want to use an anonymous in a function. I want to say, oh, why are you? Why are you complaining? That should be fine. No? You map to that, you map to that, you map to that. Okay, it doesn't like that. There we go. We want, on completion, we want to do droplet.getComponent. Oh well, we want the grabbable. We want the position of the grabbable object to be at that location. Yeah, we might have to fully refactor the way that we are working with things here, so that I can spit objects out to positions. Or I just do a super janky workaround and put a set grid position, which I don't love the idea of, but we can do it. Oh. There we go. Should be music back. AirPods connecting again. Let's end this poll as well, because it's pretty clear that we're going to be putting things back where they came from. Thank you whoever did the tie break on that, by the way. That is very, very handy. Right. Grid position equals position. So then over here we can do droplet.getComponent grabbable object dot set position. Var target, or yeah, var spawn tile equals this. To rename this to spawn tile position. Okay, that makes more sense. And then we can set grid position to grid manager. No, scratch that. Grid manager dot get instance dot try get valid grid position spawn tile position out of our out vector 3. Let's just call it grid position. Is this where I'm going to find out that I am returning? No, I am returning the vector 3s for the positions. So actually, I think I can probably just use this spawn tile position here instead of having to do a whole new get. So on complete, we just set the target position. And on start, we want to say droplet dot get component grabbable object dot enabled equals false, and then opposite here we set it to true, and that should now be doing everything that we need it to do. Odds are I'll probably end the stream shortly, so that I can get me some dinner and also plan how I'm going to redo this. Cool, okay. So if I come here, let's put it here, hit click. It is working. It's just not checking if the position is taken. And obviously we're also not saying that that position is taken. So yeah, there's going to be some grand refactoring that I'll need to do. What I'll probably do then, yeah, if I call that the end of the stream, because we've got a direction that we want to head in for how we're handling this placement, and then I'll plan this evening / tomorrow before stream tomorrow what this system's actually going to look like, because odds are we're just going to rebuild the whole thing from the ground up. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best port of call. So with that, thank you very much everyone for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, leaving a like on the video. If you want to get notified of when I'm going live next, there's a link to the Discord server in the description. If you want to support me and the studio, you can support us on Patreon. There's a link for that in the description as well. Or if you don't want to be paying the amount on the Patreon on a monthly basis and just want to support one-off, or maybe you want to support for a smaller amount, there is a link to buy me a coffee in the description and over on the side of the page as well. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks very much.